Hey everyone, Mister here, and today we are gonna do a speed build for this Sulani Starter. It is off the grid as well, so if you want to see how I did this, then please keep on watching. So here we are in the world of Sulani, the new world that came with island living, in case you didn't know. I'm not sure how you wouldn't know, but it's the new world of island living if you missed that for some reason. It's the new expansion pack that came out in June, and it's like a tropical theme pack, and it's amazing. I really love it. I've read some critics about it, or critiques I should say, and I can totally see where those people were coming from, but in the end I really like this pack anyways. Like, I respect other people's opinion on it, but I decided that I love it. I just love it, and it's such a gorgeous world. The only thing I feel like with Sulani, when you build there, you're sort of forced to always make like a beach house kind of house. Even if you decide to, you know, instead of like the traditional islanders kind of architecture, if you decide to go for let's say a contemporary build, it will still be sort of a beach house with like decks or something, but always using these new stilted foundations that actually came with the base game. I was really surprised that they did it like that. Usually I feel like usually they just place it as a pack only thing, but in this case they didn't, and I really like that for other players. Like, I understand that not everyone has all the packs. It can become very expensive. So I really like that it was a base game update, so kudos for EA for that, because they're quite known to be like the money grab company, you know, and I'm not saying that they aren't, but you know, that was a good thing. But moving on to the build, I really wanted to make an outhouse because this build is off the grid, and it took me quite some figuring out what works and what doesn't work for off the grid, because I actually had to play test it before I started building this build, because it is very inconsistent as to what works off the grid and what doesn't. And one example of that is that sinks doesn't work, but a bathtub, or at least a shower, does, which I am kind of confused about, especially because there is no plumbing. That's what they say. So how is the shower or the toilet gonna work? I don't know, but it does. And well, at least, you know, I know that off the grid you can actually live off the land basically, and like with rain tubs, that kind of stuff, but we didn't get any of that, and that's why I'm kind of confused as to why a sink wouldn't work and then a toilet is working. And I wish they went into that a lot more, because back when laundry stuff was still in development, or wasn't even in development yet, there was this whole voting system as to what people wanted to get, and off the grid was actually the second place, and they decided to just go and make it you know, just a lot trade. And even though I'm very glad that we finally have it, I feel like they could have done more with it, in the sense that I really missed something like solar paneling or something like that, you know? I feel like that would have been very suitable for off the grid kind of house, even though it might have been expensive because this is just a starter house, you know? But still, I wish they did more with the off the grid lot trade. It just feels like, especially because it was so popular, it became in second place, I believe it was, back when everyone was like voting for the eco pack. Laundry Day 1, but off the grid came out as second. So it would have made more sense to go into it a little bit more. Anyways, let's have a look at the build more. Over here I tried to decide what sort of accent color I wanted, because I always do that in my builds. I feel like it pops a little bit more to have at least a color to work with, and I decided to go with red because my favorite color that the wallpaper comes in that we are using is the turquoise one. I really like that one, but I feel it blends in with the environment a little bit too much, and I really wanted the color to pop out, and because I was already using those red plants, I decided to go for red as an accent color, and I ended up really liking it, even though I probably won't use red in my own house, but I really like the whole vibe that it gave. It just, I don't know, it's so eye-catching or something. So we went with red, and I actually did that inside the house, while you'll see, especially in the bedroom. I really like how the bedroom turned out. It's really pretty. But that said, oh, did I change up the window of the outhouse? Apparently I did. It's the same that I used in the kitchen on the red part of the main house. That's funny. I was so convinced that I used the little one, but I didn't. I actually like this better, so that was a good choice of me. Yay me. Oh, here the foundation suddenly changes. I don't know why. I was just placing some fence, and suddenly it was like, you're gonna use this now. It was really weird. There are some bugs in Island Living since the patch came out, so I'm hoping they're gonna, you know, update a little bit, especially with stuff like that. I'm not sure if you just saw that, but Floaty McWillface was stuck on the foundation height that the house was in, but Floaty McWillface is outside, so that doesn't make sense. So I'm gonna hope that they're gonna fix that. But ooh, oh, that is so stupid. I just saw the category with like mailboxes, and it has like trash bins in it, and I believe this is the first time ever that I forgot to put a trash bin in one of my builds. That's so stupid. I always like judged other builders for it, you know, like, how could you forget that? Well, I just did as well, and apparently it's kind of easy to forget because I never looked at the category again, I think. That's why I forgot about it. Okay, well, that's a first. You're watching a first now on my channel. Over here, I'm just putting in some accents to kind of make the outhouse, the bathroom, as if you will, looking more interesting. The lights had to be candles though, or like these little things that we just used. Over here I just tried to make like a little corner that you could look outside when you're sitting in your chair, but it wasn't really working. It felt too like facing one direction, and if you wanted to sit the other way, as if you couldn't do that, so I decided on the ottoman instead of the chair, but we're gonna use that chair in the build anyways. But over here you can see that I'm starting to place like specific sort of lamps. Funny thing, the third lamp, the oil lamp that you could see, it doesn't work off the grid, which I think is really weird because it's an oil lamp. It doesn't need electricity, and it doesn't work off the grid. I was so confused about that. That's the thing that I mean. But off the grid, living as a lot trade, it does not work very consistently. For example, you don't have electricity, but you do have a fridge that works. It doesn't have all the functions, I believe. but it works, sort of. Same with the oven, the how's it called? The gas pit thing? How's it called? The furnace. Is it called a furnace? You get what I mean, right? The thing you cook on. Yeah, it only works a little bit, but you can't bake. And I believe LGR actually made a really good point. What if I used wood to bake? Why can't I use that? Apparently, it's just very inconsistent with the off-the-grid thing. I don't know. It's it was very challenging while building this house. It gave me a lot of struggles. I'm still bitter about it because I really don't know. I just wanted to use certain items that I think that people would normally use off the grid. For example, why couldn't you watch television off the grid? I know there's no electronics, but there are like solar panels and stuff like that. And then we go back to that point again. Like, you can still have electricity off the grid. I'm actually looking into living off the grid in real life, and it's actually very interesting because there are so many possibilities to, you know, like be self-sustainable. I'm so bothered by it, by the little off-the-grid thing. I'm sorry. I don't want to sound bitter because I'm not, but it's just a missed opportunity, I think. Over here you can see we're trying to make something out of the living room. I decided, because I'm using this little bench to go with a little half wall under, or like behind it. It kind of separates the room a little bit more. I like that. We move it back a little bit, I believe, to make the living room a little bit bigger, because I felt it was really cramped out there. But other than that, I think the only thing we miss is the dining table that's gonna be placed right across it, and that's it. We are on a budget over here. It's a starter. I did not place any, well, apart from the bookcase, I did not place a lot of things you can do over there. So if you start playing this, I would recommend to at least expand on that. Just, you know, go with it a little bit and earn some money, or just use Motherload if that's what you want. But then I don't understand why you would buy a starter in the first place, but you know. Over here you can see that I'm trying to see where I can save up some money to put in some more details, because I really felt like this house could still use something. So yeah, I decided to just focus on a little bit more of the lighting, and I believe that at some point, yeah, I'm changing up this door to save money as well. And now I'm trying to get into the debug mode to find some cheap things to place around as well, because I couldn't really find any decorations that I liked that I could afford in this build. So instead I went to debug, and I believe I find, like, over here I don't have anything yet, but I find like a little statue that we place in the bookcase. I really like that one, and I'm not sure if I used anything other than that from debug. But anyways, I was on a budget. I was trying to be creative while not spending money, and it turned out pretty good in my opinion. Anyways, I'm gonna go. The screenshots will be here soon, and if you like this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up, and if you're new and want to see more of my videos, make sure to subscribe down below. And I'm very thankful that you are watching my video right now, because I have been away for quite some while, so it was a pleasure to have you. So thank you so much, and I will hopefully see you guys next time. I can talk. I really need to get used to this again, but I like it. It's gonna be a blast. Anyways, I'm gonna go now for real. Here are the screenshots. I hope you like it. Bye bye!